Hi everyone, my name is Kaio Philipe. I'm the Chief Business and Marketing Officer of Inter&Co. It's a pleasure to be here with everyone, and looking forward for this conversation.
So Kaio, who are you? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what sparked your interest in marketing?
My journey has been a tremendous one. I am Brazilian. I live in America for the past decade. I built my career with multicultural marketing, advertising, overseeing now a business that is a sort of a global business. So I'm very excited to be here and to talk about my journey.
Thank you so much, Kaio. So let's get started. Tell us what your company does.
So Inter&Co is a financial super app. We serve over 31 million customers around the Americas. A financial super app is basically a place where you can bank with the palm of your hand, with your phone. You can invest, you can buy stocks, you can send a wire, send a payment, a transfer to a friend, to a relative, to a family, to a business. You can buy a house, you can find deals, you can get cash back, you can get rewards. So you can do everything that is financially possible with your phone. It's mainly the evolution of banking. That's why we like to say that we've been a disruptor in digital banking. We are a company that has Latin American roots, and it's spreading all over the world, but it's mainly around the Americas. But we are a financial super app. That's our elevator pitch.
Amazing. A super app indeed. That sounds like a lot of things. As the Chief Business and Marketing Officer at Inter&Co, what is currently your main marketing focus?
So we are going to market to get more users, obviously, but I tend to say that it's not only about users, because users, it's a short-term North Star. I like to say that we have, in my life and everything that I do, being here on my previous roles, I define this in two ways. I like to focus on brand love and growth. So you have two main North Stars. Within those North Stars, you can divide things. It doesn't matter if you have 100 people or 20 people or 5 people, but you can divide the KPIs, the functionalities. And at the end of the day, they're all going to lead you to either brand love, or brand love and growth. So what is brand love? Brand love you can measure, right? It's not about, oh, I think people like my brand. No, brand love is word of mouth. Brand love is earned media. Brand love is more positive mentions than negative mentions in social media, in the streets. Brand love is customer service, right? People, if you have a good marketing, people will reach out to you to compliment and not to complain. So you definitely decrease overhead in your operation and makes more profitable operation. And then growth, obviously growth means many things. Growth could be new users, new customers, in-foot traffic if you are an offline business. It also means lifetime value. I think the word of the low interest rates are gone. We've been living in a new era for a few years now. It's not news for anyone here. Growing without there is no tomorrow, it's gone. So it's all about growing with profitability. And I think for me, growth is making sure that the customers we are bringing, they're the right ones. They have the right target audience we are reaching and we are looking for, and they have a justified lifetime value for whatever customer acquisition costs we are spending. So to me, it always summarizes into brand love and growth.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Can you tell me about a particularly innovative or successful marketing campaign your team has recently executed?
I think there's a few, right? At Inter&Co, we are the naming rights. We have the naming rights of a Major League Soccer stadium, an MLS, which is soccer in America is growing tremendously. I was reading somewhere the other day that soccer is already top 5, top 4 favorite sports in America. And we have the naming rights of a big arena, big stadium, the Inter&Co Stadium in Orlando, Florida. It has been very successful for us. I would say that Orlando and people in Central Florida area, they've been connecting with our brand. I think it's one of those naming rights. People ask me why naming rights and why this is something you guys bet. In my view, there is no better investment from a marketing standpoint than attaching your brand name to something that has already some value for the local community. So naming rights could be a stadium, could be a plaza, it could be a mall, whatever you can come up, and that all translates to alternative media. I think more and more we are seeing new types of media. There are even now these days the Uber or the food delivery bots in the streets. In Miami, they're testing a few. So they have media there. They're selling advertising on those things. One could say, well, but does that convert? Well, it's of course, right? You're getting your name out there. It's a brand recall. People are walking on the streets. Of course, not going to impact 20 million people because you don't have 20 million people walking in that geo, but you're definitely going to get the people from that geo remembering you. So I would say that one of the most successful things we've done so far, and it's not only that, because that's just the beginning, right? So then you have it trickle down to many other things that we are doing, and that goes from guerrilla marketing, like wrapping getting a Cybertruck wrapped in orange. That's our color. We want to make things very orange with our logo. So we wrapped like a Cybertruck in Miami in March during spring break. Very guerrilla marketing, very, if you think about it, the tactical plan is very, very small. We're not talking about a big media plan with, $20 million. We're talking about a very specific and tactical, but it worked tremendously. We got people from that area. It was the only Cybertruck driving on the area during spring break. So I tend to think that marketing is big things like naming rights of a stadium, right? That impacts millions of people, impacts Apple, impacts, earned media and so on, impacts millions of sports fans. But you also get small things that helps you growing the local community. And I think those are two examples that I'm proud of what the team accomplished.
Amazing. And as a Brazilian, I'm sure you're enjoying having the stadium there. I was looking at the website and I think I saw Ronaldinho pop up in one of the images, which I found very interesting.
I'm not a big soccer fan. I'm Brazilian, and I know
one Brazilian who doesn't love soccer.
Let's talk about that. About cliches, right? And I think being a Latino in America, or Latinx, however you want to call, there is a lot of assumptions that we love sports, we celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and we do, right? We love to have a good tequila and a good, if you drink, and if you like a good guacamole and so on. But that's a cliche, right? And I think in marketing, we need to deviate from those cliches. What I've been learning is that in America specifically, and I've been here for almost a decade now, Americans like entertainment, right? We are Americans. America is a country built of immigrants, and immigrants love multicultural stuff. So they love the Italian food, they love the Spanish soccer, now the American soccer. I like the fact that our brand is very attached to activations, right? Sports is one of them, and that comes from the bank background, the financial institution, Inter&Co background. They've been doing that before my era. They have big sponsorships in Latin America of major sports clubs, in arenas, in co-branding credit cards, and so on. So it was a natural path, but I wouldn't say we are only attached to sports or soccer itself. This is just one of those things that we are looking to do. Many other things in the alternative media field I cannot disclose here because they are confidential, but we are cooking very cool stuff.
Nice, thank you. Now, on the other hand, what are your biggest marketing challenges at the moment?
I think the challenge in everywhere, right, being in Latin America, in Brazil, in the US, in Europe, in Asia, is budget, right? You have to be efficient. And in the US, at least, you're talking about almost $200 billion advertising industry. So if you spend $100,000 to target, let's say, Latinos watching soccer, Copa America, or America's Cup that is happening now over the summer, is it going to be worth? What's the return you're going to get if you spend money on TV, on linear? So the biggest challenge will always be resources, right? How you divide the resource. And I like to say, I tell that to my team now, is every company has limited resource, even Amazon. Amazon cannot just go and spend, $10 billion. I mean, they are actually doing that with NFL, NBA, I guess, but it's still, right. It's not like they just decide those things and they just spend the money. Every company has limited resource. It doesn't matter if it's people, if it's budget, and you have to pick your battles. For me, the biggest challenge has been, and is always going to be, and that's a challenge that we have to live with this challenge. We have to invite this challenge for dinner, right, every evening, which is work around resource. It doesn't matter. I've worked in companies before, and I built brands with just a person, just a one-man show, jack of all trades, or Jane of all trades, whatever you want to call. And I've been in places that have much more resources and have millions of dollars in budget, and was in Priceline Group before, and Booking Holdings. They allegedly they are. I'm not sure if that's a fact or not. Allegedly, they are one of the largest media buyers, Google search buyers globally, if not the number one. And it's different dynamics, but every company has limited resource. So I think that the challenge is always to decide what medium you're going to bet and how you're going to double down, and how you're going to provide results that a corporation is expecting.
How does your company stay ahead of its competition in terms of marketing?
Product. I think at the end of the day, if you build a good product and there is proliferation, there is diffusion, and you don't have to paint the roles, right? It's all about product. I'm not a marketing person, and my background is as an economist, which is interesting, but I've been doing marketing since day one in my life. I think marketing is not that complex. Marketing is about product and distribution, right? And creativity, obviously. But if you have a good product, creativity comes along. Right. Apple the foundation was in the product, and then creativity came within the product. So it's all about the product for us. We are very focused on the financial super app to make people's life easier, to make people smarter about their money, their investment. If they travel, they can have a dollar account to spend internationally. So it's all about making people's life better and easier. And then you get word of mouth, your CAC goes down. Beautiful. Right. And that's how you build a brand. You build brand love combined with growth.
Thank you. You've mentioned a little bit about this already, but in your opinion, what does the future of marketing look like?
I don't believe in linear TV anymore, and I wouldn't spend a dime with linear TV. And I'm sorry about that for my linear TV folks. Nothing personal. It's just a view of as a marketer. And I think my job, my chair requires me to make decisions and to judge, right? And I don't believe it's linear TV. Let's start with what I don't believe, right? I do believe that there is a new generations of Gen Zs and the new alpha generation that comes. I think it's the alpha generation, right, that comes. I have a daughter, so she's probably in that generation. And I believe that we are not still talking about what's going to happen in the next 10 years. AI, sure. AI is there, AI is here. AI helps us, copywriting, blah, blah, blah. It helps to generate creatives, helps our marketing to be much faster. You have Excel spreadsheets being done by AI. So make us smarter. But AI is just a tool. It's like Word or PowerPoint. It's just a tool that were added in our lives and makes our lives better and easier. But I do believe that we are not there where it comes from that new generation. I certainly believe that this new generation will be 100% focused on their mobiles. There is no other medium rather than mobiles. And screens everywhere, smart screens. And I think this is already happening. You have a lot of retail media and out of home growing tremendously over the last couple of years. So retail media is becoming part of any retailer out there. If they are not doing that, they will be. And I think that will become also an SMB, so small and medium business reality. So it's all going to be about screens and mobile. And then that's where you're going to spend your money. It's not going to be in the metaverse for sure. That's not going to happen. So it's certainly in screens around cities, around activations, around stores and so on. So that's where this new generation will be impacted by media, their phones and screens around cities.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. If you were to describe the CMO role in one word, what would that word be and why?
I think in one word, right? Growth. You don't hire a CMO to be on the comfort zone. You hire a CMO because you want to make sure your brand is well perceived. It is connecting to the audience that your product wants. Like the other day, I was talking with a brand they are like the veterinarian franchise for pets in America. And they have an audience, right? So I was putting myself in their CMO shoes. How do you get pets parents, right? How do you target this audience? So you hire a CMO because you don't want to be in the comfort zone, and you want to grow. You want to grow your numbers quarter over quarter. You don't want to be in the comfort zone. So you need to have people thinking. You need to have people with creative ideas, and you need to have a good product to sustain all that. CMO with a bad product, I think it tends to fail. A CMO with a great product skyrockets. That's my perception.
Last question. So what career advice would you give to other marketing leaders?
I would say to trust your teams, to hire well, to hire good people, to hire skilled people, and to give them freedom to execute. That's the main thing I would say to a market leader out there. I would also say that to trust their gut, to trust data, but to trust their gut further. And it's not always about, you're going to be throwing a lot of data. These companies, Google, Meta, all the big techs, they're going to throw you XYZ reports. But at the end of the day, if you're driven by that, you're going to be driven by them, right? So you need to be driven by your gut, by your own data, and by your people.